I'm here with Emmett Tatter. This is so fun.
Oh,
Hi, Kevin or Kevin. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thanks for joining. You all set up?
I'm
Oh, we
watching.
got a heart. We already got a heart. Oh, good. You're watching from the side?
Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys, me
At
and
all.
Emmett are just meeting for the first time right now.
No, it's like I was telling her, I loved when I first watched her live, one of the live episodes. I was drawn into, because you have a powerful like presence on your like Substack, and I'm like, ooh, this one's fierce. And then I get on, and it reminded me of a book. And then when you said something in that live that you were doing like social work, and so you're familiar with, especially talking to people in situations that are just like out of this world. Like I've read
Absolutely.
books on New York public service, like, that's real deal. And so I just respected that, and your kind vibe was just like, it was just, I just really like
And
this.
now I
I
get to
appreciate
feel
the
your kind vibe. I get to feel your kind vibe.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. Well, and let me praise you now. And by the way, Fareed is saying, so glad to see you both. So thank you so much, Fareed. Um, yeah, I was like very drawn into well, first of all, your bio
mhm.
and the
Oh, I know.
first line of your bio. And I'm going to just tell the audience about, you said you were counted over 15,000 times,
Mhm.
right? 5 times a day.
15,523, not including the recounts, which there were many of them. So,
And this is where, and if you, I don't know if you want to say exactly where you were, but I just want the audience to know
oh,
from prison, from
yeah, I was
prison.
in the Florida DOC prison. And it's funny, in Florida, they don't technically call prisons prisons. There's only
Okay.
one technical prison in the state of Florida, but there are 124 correctional institutions.
Okay.
And they're called correctional institutions, which is a little funny because I'm not sure what they're trying to correct, but
Well,
yeah.
one thing that you may or may not know about me, because I don't know if I shared it yet, even with the audience, is that I actually wrote a thesis, part of a dissertation about mass incarceration.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to send it
Yeah.
my I'd like to see.
Yeah.
That would
So
be
that's
the
also why,
thesis. Man, wow. That's
yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
thing right
So
there.
I went to um, City College Graduate Center for a PhD, which I did not finish. I'll be
Mhm.
transparent about that, in social work. And we had to look at a social problem through a certain lens, various lenses. And I chose mass incarceration, and specifically through like a feminist lens,
Oh,
and a radical social work lens. And that's when I started boycotting Starbucks and Victoria's Secret because I found out they use prison labor.
well, there are so many things that use like Aldi. Like I used to go to Aldi and stuff, but there's like tons of things that use prison labor. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's a real deal thing, and it's about money. And it's just tragic because what's the incentive to, especially now private prisons are getting a hold of, and their contracts, usually like at Lake CI, there's like they have a contract with the state to keep the beds at 90% occupancy. So it's like the incentive is to fill those beds,
Yeah.
and people only go to those, private facilities when there's no room in the state ones. So it's like
Okay.
we want people to be here at these institutions, and they're just popping up like all the time now. And
Right. Like it's a huge moneymaker.
mhm.
Prison, private prison, prison labor, which I don't know, maybe you know exactly if what people are paid, but it's nothing. And
um,
it's
um,
right.
no, it's
And it,
like
right.
25 cents a day. It's something ridiculous. So basically it's still nothing. It's still kind of free slave labor and
Absolutely, that's what I was gonna say.
mhm.
It
Yeah,
is
Florida is one of
human
those.
enslavement, it is, and that's
Yeah.
what I learned when I was studying mass incarceration, and so I started boycotting Starbucks and Victoria's Secret. I haven't gone there in 21 years, either one, and there's other ones too, but what's interesting is I look up if I like somewhere, I look up if they use prison labor.
Mhm.
That's something I actually look for. And sometimes you cannot avoid it, unfortunately, because maybe it's an airline,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe it's some other service or company that is unavoidable, basically.
It is. I gotta say hi to Kevin. She helped me with, like, when I was editing the book, doing developmental editing and stuff. She was a real one, so
Awesome. Hi,
and
Kevin. Hi.
my buddy Alex Greiner, said your last name, my bad, bro.
Hi, Alex. I love your muscle.
Yeah,
Love your muscle.
it's strong. So,
Let's see, and if you scroll, you can see more. Cunt Punk, they know I love their name is here. Kevin's here. Untriggered Sapien joined.
what's up, man?
Sarah's here. Sarah Da.
Untriggered dishes out content, man. That guy is, he just I love it, so oh,
Awesome.
Farid
Let's
here. That's my guy.
Rid. He said, "Good to see you both." Earlier on,
Angela,
Angela Lynn had
Sarah.
joined. Ralph had joined. I don't know if I said hi to you, Ralph, and Joseph C joined. Says he joined 2 times, so that's part of the, Substack whatever issues. Oh, E-Bike Dreaming just joined. I'm so psyched, you guys. I'm just meeting Emmett for the first time.
No, it's fun.
We
It's
just met for the first time,
first
and we're
time.
talking so far about,
Rich cat
correctional institutions, prisons,
prisons, yeah.
prison labor,
Slaves and human trafficking, all that.
right?
So,
Right?
it's a real thing, and, that's pretty cool how you, boycotted Starbucks so long ago. Wow, that's
Yeah.
because I didn't know that about them using I just knew that a lot of, like I have some Palestinian friends and, they're pretty against, Starbucks, so, like, I used to love, like, Starbucks had this one coffee, it reminded me of my grandma, and once I was told about this, I was like, "Man, my grandma's I don't wanna stop drinking this kind, it's the blonde rose, it's my"
Oh, I
and then I
remember
was
that.
and then I was like, "You know what? You know what? I'm not with it." So, switched it up, now I'm drinking different coffee, so, yeah,
Just like
sometimes you have to do
boycotting
what you have
now
to do.
Amazon, right? I'm boycotting the Meta apps, I'm boycotting, um, you know, but look, I still have to have my freaking iPhone, like, Google, my business is connected to that, like, some of these companies, like I was saying, you can't really totally avoid, but where I can, I try to.
Yeah, well, aren't monopolies supposed to be illegal? But
Oh,
but I
yeah, they
can't
are,
tell.
but they're not.
Yeah, I can't
They're
tell.
not. Well, the rule of law is dead. Let's talk, you know what I'm saying? Like the not what, what's legal is unconstitutional, immoral, and should be illegal, right? And what is illegal is now sanctioned. Hello, right? So the whole rule of law and our entire constitution
Yeah.
is flipped upside down.
It's a sad state of affairs, but, honestly, I just never lose hope. I've seen people overcome impossible odds. I've seen it and I've read about it and, I'm not giving up hope ever.
Me
Like,
neither.
nobody can ever take that away from me. And I hope from anybody else. Like we have it's our right to be able to hope, and hope used to scare the living shit out of me. Like, I wrote a whole chapter in my memoir. My editor and my mom, they helped me edit when I was going through, like, the 250,000 word manuscript of it. They're like, "You have to remove this chapter," because it was basically, like, me telling the world, like, I don't believe in hope, and this is when I
Wow.
first got out of prison because, Yeah, it was a story of these miners that were in a lot trapped in a mine, and I read about this, and, I think it was like 25 guys, they were trapped down there, and this one had a watch where he could actually initiate, like, the glow in the dark thing, so he could see what time it was, so all these guys were like, "We're running out of oxygen." He's telling them, "No, just everyone chill, everyone save your breath, just calm down," and they're asking, "How? What time is it? How long have we been in here?" And even though it had been hours and hours and days upon days, he kept telling them, like, "It's only been an hour." No matter if it was 6 hours or 8 hours, he would just keep them calm, and then they all get rescued, and when they get out, this guy was so stressed out mentally, he gave all his hope to everybody else. But the hope inside him, he felt like they were gonna die. They weren't gonna make it. And this man is the only one that died, the guy with the watch.
Whoa.
So it was like a powerful story. When I read that, I was like, "He's so right." Like, "Oh my god," like, or like that person that wrote that, I was like, "Oh my god." But then, I've been tortured in the DOC, Florida Department of Corrections. I've seen men get tortured, and, for those guys, like, I feel like I'd be doing them a disservice if I didn't come out here and make my voice a light, make my voice like I love Beth Shelbourne. She freaking made this comment about like our voices are the things that bloom, and I love that. And
Whoa.
so yeah, that was with Alabama Solution. Like shout out to Alabama Solution, and
Yes,
all
thank
these
you for
guys-
recommending that. Thank you.
oh yeah, yeah, I'll recommend that film all day, every day, because
Same, and I had posted about it as well, and I recommended it, and it's called, you guys, The Alabama Solution, and right now it's on HBO, I think. I think
on
that's where I
HBO
watched.
Max. You can buy it on Apple.
Oh, yeah,
That's
Max, that's right. It's
yeah, HBO Max. There's so many different platforms now. Like, and then you want to watch a movie and it's on like Paramount or this, and you have to buy this different subscription. But
I just
yeah,
wanna answer Swollen Justice. He's asking, or they're asking, "Who's your guest?" I missed the intro. Yes, I'll keep repeating. This is Emmett Tatter. I highly recommend. Um, he has an incredible talk about voice.
yeah. Well,
His
that,
writing is incredible. His content is incredible. It's very inspiring to me. And, you were just saying how you don't ever give up hope,
yeah,
and I share that. I talk about that too, that, I very much believe in us, in people.
yeah.
And,
So
you were saying how you've been tortured, and I read some of what you've seen. I've read a little bit of what you've been through. I definitely wanna read your book. I
yeah,
saw that was in your bio as well.
count time. That's it.
Count Time.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to know that because you said, "Oh, you've probably seen a lot of things." I have, but I have a feeling you've seen a lot more that you have seen a lot more than me. You've been through a lot more than me. I've been very privileged.
Well,
I
that's not to
try
take
to
away from
acknowledge
your
that.
experiences, though. Your experiences are real. They're important, and that's what I acknowledge between like all of us as individuals. Like we all have stories, and it's so important for us to like find the keys to like escape our prisons in our mind, and nothing can take away what you've experienced, what you've been through. And I think all our stories are unique, and I just want to just help lift everybody. If I could do it, I would. I'd
On
break my back.
shoulders.
Yeah. One time
Yes.
I was helping a guy. I was working in my first job in the Florida Department of Corrections was actually wrapping bodies. I was as I
Oh my
went in
god.
when I was 21, and then basically all my 30s were, I mean, all my 20s were in the Department of Corrections. But my first job was wrapping bodies, and so when someone would die or whatever, I'd have to go wrap them. And
Oh my
I
god.
remember I got so mad one time because there was this guy. and he was like 500 pounds easy, and, he was dying, and he, like, fell over. He was trying to get to the bathroom, and he wasn't supposed to be trying to walk on his own, but he fell over, and me and all my friends, the other, orderlies and stuff, we go to help, and I mean, I pull my back out. I'm like, "Ah," trying to get this man up, and we finally get him up, get him to the bathroom, get him back to his bunk, and then I got so upset with myself because I found out later, a nurse came to me and she's like, "I don't know why you're helping him. He's a piece of shit. He's a child molester," and stuff like this, and I was like, "What?" Because when they're in medical, they don't tell us their, story or whatever, so we're just there, like, you know
Wow.
you know, someone face to face, you never know what someone's capable of or what they've done unless it's, like, broadcasted, and this nurse broadcasted what he
Wow.
did, and I was so upset with myself, but then I'm like, "You know what? I helped this guy, and though I didn't know, I can't take it back now,
Right.
and what's the point of trying to and then what? Am I gonna go to this guy and stab him while he's in his bunk or something? Like, no." I had to, take a step back and just learn that, people's stories, you know, maybe you'll have to face and own up to that later on.
Yep.
It's not my position to just get at you right now, but I don't know why I'm telling that story. I guess this is just a live thing,
Well,
but
it's
sorry, y'all.
spontaneous, like we said, right? We have to do that,
Yeah.
and, I think I'm a therapist, and this is how human psychology works.
Mhm,
We associate things, we process at different times in our lives. So to me, it's really, I don't know, so normal.
mhm,
And what I wanted to tell you is that, when I was working so many years in the South Bronx, and at one point I was running a clinic, a lot of my work previously had been with young people. And I could talk a lot about, juvenile detention and things like that. But I was working with adults at that time, and a lot of people were formerly incarcerated. And the stories of their lives and what their crimes were would come out.
mhm,
And I knew people who had been very violent, and they would come to therapy and they would talk about it. And I don't judge, because I understand that people are the things people do are, especially in the South Bronx, like a product of their trauma, their poverty,
poverty plays a big
sociopathic
role.
caregivers, there's reasons. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, there's tons of reasons, and that's one thing that, always stuck out to me in prison. There were a lot of guys that would just, racism is everywhere, and
of
it's
course.
especially so in prison a lot of times. It's not like California, like Florida prison isn't like
Yep.
California where or like the out west states where it's just so segregated and that's how it is out there. You can't even go to get a drink of fountain from like there's specific rules for but in Florida it's just like and then the main thing in Florida is what you worry about is really the officers. Like
Okay.
like it's not like everyone's kind of in it together because these officers and let me break it down. There are some great officers. There are some great people. They care, and I can never take that away from them. There were some officers that really guided me during that period and but there's some really brutal ones and these officers didn't discriminate. In the Florida Department of Corrections, one thing that their motto is, it used to be brown stick together, but their crest is like, "We never walk alone." They're the biggest gang in the entire, prison system,
Wow.
straight up, and
That
they
doesn't surprise
you never
me.
walk alone, and if you try going against them, you're gonna get killed or you're gonna get really hurt or yeah, it's not gonna go well for you, so
Wow. I mean, it doesn't it doesn't surprise me, but of course, to hear the lived experience of it, right? And that's what I appreciate about your articles,
Mhm.
And guys, just so you know, Emmett is an incredible writer.
Well,
You're
thank you.
such a good writer, and, your storytelling is so it's easy to access, it's easy to understand, but it's written very beautifully, at the same time. So, I just wanna tell you that, and I did kind of wanna know a little bit, like, when did you start writing?
I started I wrote letters in prison and, a lot of my buddies, they would come to me like, "Yo, tat, tat, tat," because they knew I read all the time, like I was a straight nerd for reading, and, they'd actually get mad at me and wrestle my books away, like, "These books are coming in between us, bro,"
Cool.
but I would write letters, and I would write them to my family, to people that were there for me, and then sometimes my friends, they'd be like, "I'm going through it with my old lady, man, like, will you help me with this letter?" And I'm like, "They're gonna know it's not you, bro." Like, and then sometimes I'd help them write a letter, but
Yeah,
tuned more for them. I'd ask them questions. I
absolutely.
was like an investigative journalist, like, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions. How do you really feel?" And then I'd craft this letter. I remember I was in confinement, um, and I was in confinement with this, a cellie, we call them cellies, and this guy was blind. And for some reason, it never entered my mind that they'd put a blind man in prison. And I was like,
Wow.
"Holy crap, I cannot imagine being blind in prison. Like,
Oh my
what kind of
god.
target is that?" Like, it was tripping me out.
Oh
And,
my god.
so this guy, he was from Jacksonville, this cool African American kid, man. He was really like, he got locked up on like some like forged checks, something stupid. But they throw him in a maximum security
Oh
prison with
my god.
books, and, I love books, don't get it twisted, but, so this guy was in here and he was telling me a story about, he had this dysfunctional relationship with his mom, and, he was really wanting to repair, but he has so much anger and stuff, and I remember him asking if I would help him write a letter. It was the first time I ever wrote a letter for somebody, and we were in confinement, and this was at Swanee CI. It was 2012, their death year, so, it was really vicious in that environment,
Wow.
and helped this kid write a letter, and we got it out before the police came and ripped it up, yeah, so that continued, and then in 2018, August, I was released, and, I came home. I was teaching yoga, I was doing my thing, I loved it because I also found yoga while I was in prison. I
I was
started
wondering if that's where you started. I was
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, that's how I started, and nobody could believe that Tatter's doing yoga, what? Hell no, and then, but I did it anyway, so I ended up, really getting, like, depressed and really getting, my mentality was always, "I mean, you can survive anything, you're a warrior, like, no, nothing's ever gonna break you. Prison didn't break you, life out here won't break you," but I didn't understand really how this world operated at that time, and it was such a confusing time period, trying to transition from prison to just the outdoor, like, mentality, like, you cannot handle things how you would in prison. It's just you can't do it. You'll be back in prison being tortured at Swanee again, and I'm like, "Okay," yeah, it was really difficult, so I started losing touch with myself, and, in 2019, towards the end of it, I was I was just completely lost. Like was doing I just wasn't able to really cope, it felt like. And I wanted to get back in touch with that individual I was in prison. I loved that person. I was proud of
Wow.
him. I was helping others,
Wow.
doing exactly what I wanted. And my mom had a friend named Alan Marcel. He's a professor at Flagler, and he was also like a producer in Hollywood a long time ago. And he told me he's seen me because when I first got out, I was also all about prison reform. I was going to different talks. I was being invited to different places. I was talking about addiction, different,
That makes sense.
definitely prison reform. And he heard me talk. He's like, "You're going to be a star, man." And I'm like, "Dude, chill, man, chill." But he told me I should write a book. Now, that thought, I was like, "Man, you tripping, man." But when I moved to Baltimore working for an LKQ corporation. And while I was up there doing that, I just I just wasn't feeling great mentally. And I wanted to, like I said, get back in touch with myself. And I started just banging out chapters. And I wish to this day I could say I was sober then, but I wasn't. So maybe that's why I had to do brutal rounds of editing in the beginning, because I mean, I'd be drinking a bottle and chugging with beer, just typing, typing, typing. And, I'd send chapters to my mom. And my mom, bless her soul, she's a great one. She, uh, she ended up sending these chapters to people, and they're all like, "Oh my God, it's so good. You should write a
My
book."
God.
But I got halfway done about 3 months in, maybe not even. I got halfway through my book and was like, "I can't fucking do this no more. I don't recognize that person." Because I got all through like the first 4 years, like the real brutal, hardcore, like impossible, like how did you survive stuff, you know, and then right when it went to like me discovering yoga and like learning to be somebody else, it was like I couldn't get in touch with that person. And all I wanted to do was get back in touch with him again. And it broke me. It broke me mentally. I stopped. I moved back down to Florida. A few other jobs fell out, and I ended up having a serious mental break in 2021. And yeah, like after that, I started the book again. I went to counseling. I got healing. I admitted that, hey, I need help. I don't even know what I'm doing out here. So I asked my parents, can I move in with you guys? And they said yes. And when they said yes, I signed over power of attorney to all my finances to them. I said, I don't trust me with anything, like nothing. I sold my car, got rid of my bike, and just locked myself down for 11 months while I went to counseling like once, sometimes twice a week. And after that,
Wow, that's not that long ago, Emmett.
to 2021, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
And
sober.
it was during COVID.
COVID. I think it was at the back end of it, maybe. I guess it was during COVID a little bit,
It
right?
was. 21 was. Oh, yeah.
COVID hit me hard when I was doing yoga. Ugh. Yeah, but but, everything happens for a reason. I found love. I have a fiance that I'm madly, just all for. And that was after I took this workshop with this dude named Jared McCann. And he was the guy I got certified up in New York for with vinyasa style yoga. And,
Very cool.
we did this like online Zoom thing about opening up your heart chakra. And then, like,
Mhm.
lo and behold, I ended up meeting someone that I just was all about.
Mm.
And then I finished my book. And then since 2021, like basically, actually, it was 2022, just editing, 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 learning the publishing game. And so, did I answer your question? You can stop. I
Absolutely.
ramble.
No,
Just,
this is your no, the question was about how did you begin writing, and no, this is it.
yeah, yeah.
Where can I get your book?
Well, right now, my book, Count Time, I've actually been querying agents, and I'm very selective who I query. And I had a full manuscript request when my book was still 154,000 words. And I knew from the beginning, I knew that first time memoir, they want it to be 70,000 words. If maybe you might be able to pull off 90,000 words. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, they're never going to take this. But the guy read it and he gave me some such down earth advice at the night agency. Um, this guy named Travis, and it was like this cool agent, and he broke it down for me, and I was like, he was the first one that took the time to actually break down why they can't do it and stuff, and I really respected that. So I was so ready to. I mean, for years, I thought my book would be out in 2022, 2023, 2024. I even went so far as to go hire Demonza to help me do the interior formatting. I'm like, because I was so against taking chapters out, taking pieces of my life out of this story. I get the marketing, I get publishing, I understand, but it just was it meant so much to me. So I had to hire someone actually to help me get rid of some of these chapters because every single one of them felt so important, so vital. And I did the hard work, and now I just shopped it again, sent out a few queries, and got a query request, a full manuscript request with this agency in New York. I am hoping it's the last one, but
Okay.
never know. And even if it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep on writing. I'm so lucky to have met you, to have discovered Substack. I just found out about this in February, and I'm so
For me,
thankful.
it was August, so it's not that
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
so thankful. It's like gives me an opportunity besides just working on my second memoir. It gives me the opportunity to explore like, other chapters that were removed from my life from this manuscript that I worked so hard on. It helps me sharpen my mind to get it out there and express. It's no longer penmanship. It's like my typing skills and what's from here to get it out here. And I'm just really thankful for everything. I can't believe I even made it. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Woo.
I love your story. I love your story.
Thank
And
you.
I
But
know this is just a fraction of it. I'm very well aware of that as a therapist, that when I get to know people, it takes a long time for
Mhm.
people to tell their stories and in different ways. And again, this is how we process, and especially with grief and trauma and well, any kind of difficult experiences, there's always new lenses, new understandings, new
Yeah, there are.
perspectives, right? So we tell our stories throughout our life because as we grow older, as we grow more wise, as we see different things, we understand we understand things differently,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sure you're going to be doing this, forever
Oh
in
yeah.
different ways.
In different ways.
Um,
It always keeps evolving because you if someone would have told me in 2021, especially after my break, that I'd be doing lectures at Flagler College for the criminology department or doing lectures in Maryland with, and it's just I wouldn't have believed him. I would have been like, "Yeah, right, bro. Like, what are you talking about? They don't want my felon ass to get up in there and start telling these kids anything about prison and exposing murder, exposing all this stuff." And it's just like, but here we are. And
wow.
it's just I never want to take away from the possibilities of life, from just the magic that's out there. And I firmly believe, if you work hard in something and just don't give up. That's my motto. Don't get, my motto back in the day was fuck it. Let's just do it. Like fuck it. But now it's shifted, but definitely to this too shall pass. That was my granny's. I wrote an article about my granny today.
I
And
saw that and I didn't get to read it yet, but I did see it come
it's
through.
all right. It's
Yep.
all I forgive you. No, I'm just
Yep.
kidding.
Yep. I did see it.
No, but and just don't give up and life is beautiful. You just there's so much bad. We both know there's like tons of just like atrocity, like horrific things going on. But
Absolutely.
through that, there's still flowers blooming. There's still stars at night. There's dogs. There's like beautiful things here that make our life better. And, I hope my story, anything can help just somebody that's
Oh,
going
it
through
will. It
some sort of
does.
Yes.
It helps me. It helps me.
Well, thank you.
And it helps, I mean, I was just thinking about you being a yoga teacher. I know they love you. I know they love you. Your students love you.
Yeah.
And, I also do yoga. I'm also certified. I don't teach it, but during COVID, I got, I started with like a 200-hour
Yeah.
certification
Well,
so that
that's
I
all
could
I have.
incorporate
So,
okay. So that
yeah.
I could incorporate that into like my therapy practice and feel like, like it was legitimate.
It
And
is.
I practice, I like hatha yoga. That's kind of where I started.
Okay.
I like a slow flow. I like to be in the postures for, however long I need to. I
Yeah,
do a lot of intuitive yoga now, just what do I want to do right now with my body? What needs something?
mm,
And I do take classes online and, like
that's
I'll
awesome.
look at videos and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to just let you know that I'm a big
Well,
fan of
that's
yoga too.
awesome. Didn't namaste. The light in me recognizes
Namaste.
the light in you,
That's
And,
right.
maybe
Namaste.
that's why we're, kindred in these, solidarity and, uh
Yeah, we have a lot that we're aligned on, and we have
mhm.
a lot of, parts of our experience that complements each other.
Yeah, and I know when I first discovered yoga, you know, if okay, I've never really told the whole real story, but back then, you know, when I was kind of a jit, I was young and we used to officers and stuff would like set up fights in dorms. And it wasn't for like, uh-oh, my battery's running low. Hold on.
Oh, definitely don't let your battery burn. While you're doing that, I'm gonna say hi to a few people.
Okay,
Feed
yes.
Oh, Toad is telling us to feed a wild animal and things get better. Toad, I could not agree more because I feed some crows and I'm not gonna lie, I feed a fox. Um, let's see. Oh, Frank, are you still on? Yeah, you're still on. Frank, great interview. And later on down the line, if there's ever an audio version of his book, I look forward to listening to it. Oh, Frank, we met on Facebook and
Thanks, Frank.
we're good friends. And yeah, that's so cool. Rachel Kess is saying it's amazing to share truly authentic and human experiences on Substack. Yes, it is. It really is. I say all the time, this platform has really let me know that I'm not alone and
Mhm.
that I'm not insane.
Right?
Chris Resist, so glad to see you, Chris. I love your work. Karen S joined. Angela Lynn is saying you should shop your yoga teachings to prisons, online versions for prisons. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
maybe
creative
on
idea.
is a creative one.
Let's see. Hello. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Savon? Savon Hollins. I hope I'm pronouncing your
Hey,
name right.
everybody. I'm glad
Seeing
everyone's here.
connections and hearing stories like this is why I continue to love Substack with a heart. Thank you, Savon. And if your name is pronounced otherwise, please let me know in the comments. Farad saying Substack has been a blessing to meet you on, man. That's what he
Aw,
said to you, Emmett.
thank you.
Hope joined saying awesome, clap, clap, clap.
Yeah,
Angela Lynn is saying connections, and I know human connections.
yeah, Rach Cass is my
Um,
fiancée. She's up in Maryland right now. Hey, baby.
I love
Uh,
Oh, Laura T is on. She comes on a lot. She says such a big heart. Toad is saying Substack is the least Nazi social media, and
mm,
that's saying something.
thank you, sis.
Let's see. Farad is saying you're such an inspiration, my brother. Your faith has got you through.
He was one of my first subscribers. I love him, man, and I love his, like, poetry and his sayings and stuff. It's great.
Oh, my friend Zeke is on. Straight nerd for reading shirts coming. Be right back. Zeke
Straight
does a live. Um,
Man, I need to go live more.
what is
There's
that?
great business ideas.
Totally. Heather to the R's joined, Pamela Williamson. Oh, Nick G, great friend of mine. He was the
Oh,
second person I ever went live with, and
what a Nick.
he's another great mind
That's
and
awesome.
another great writer. I just want to give Zeke a little shout out because he does these live streams with incredible media, music, old clips. He puts it together like I don't even know how. And he
Wow.
has a little live stream of himself mixing, and I highly recommend.
That's cool.
Um, so it's so great to have you here, everybody. And yeah, Emmett was part of one of my live streams one time. I don't
Mhm.
even remember. It was not too long ago, but I remember that you
Mm.
were commenting a lot and we were interacting a lot,
Now,
and so that's kind of how we first got connected. And
mhm.
so look, now here we are
Now
doing it
here we are.
together.
That's how it goes, and that's the beauty of it, of, like, life, and in prison, it was such a small world. Like, everyone always is like, "It's a small world in here. You better," because you may do something and then you transfer to a new facility, and then years down the road or whatever, like, you run into that man again, and you better hope you did him right. So it's like, but that's really how the whole world is, in a sense. It's a small,
Right.
big world, but it's a small world, really. Like, you
It
never know,
is.
what's gonna come back to you. So my thing is just, be the best person you can be and try not, I don't ever like vocalize like hate and all that. Even though like, if I have reasons to go there, but I just choose to do it a different route because I've learned in prison, you can, if I wanted to fight 24/7, I mean, there's always something I
An
could.
opportunity.
Always. There's always someone being a jerk, always someone being an asshole, someone thinking they're tough, the list goes on and on. But I learned early on that, I don't have to respond that way. I just would rather sit and read Harry Potter on my bunk and, have my friends call me a nerd and, learn Spanish or learn something else and just educate my mind because that's how the powers that be, the ominous they like to keep you
Oh,
uneducated,
yes. Oh,
unknowledgeable
yes.
about the knowledge that is taking place right here, right
That's
now.
right.
And,
That's right.
we have
So
opportunities.
I will tell you, I do express hate to them. I do, because my
You can,
part
and
of
that
my
no one can
content
take that away
is,
from you.
yeah, and like I didn't used to do that, but with
That's why I
the
liked your
rise,
page. You know what I
what'd you
mean?
say?
That's why was drawn to your page. I was like, "Ooh, she spits fire. Oh, I like it." And then I talked to you and you were just like, or listened to your live and you were just like, the way you talked with your guest, it was just like, "Man, I wanna, like, protect this person's awesome, like, no one better mess with her. She seems really cool." So, yeah.
Oh gosh, that is so I'm humbled, I'm honored. I was given a lot of positive feedback when I first started coming on social media. Just it really was with Blue Sky and then later Substack because I actually got my Blue Sky account got suspended for a little while because it got hacked and I
Mhm,
missed my community. And so then I started on Substack and that was last August. And again, the affirmation, the validation. I want to tell everybody on the live stream just how much I love them, how grateful I am. I'm also a very loving person. I express that a lot. I'm not afraid to. I love strangers. I love people I've never met before, and it's real. And I feel that connection. I really do.
mhm,
And I can tell you do too.
mhm.
And I'm the same as you. I kind of, like, yeah, I'm pissed off sometimes, and I'm, enraged at the sociopaths that have
Um,
every resource to help us and choose to harm and harm beyond a comprehensive like, it's incomprehensible, the hoarding of wealth, the abuse, the
oh my
exploitation, the
god.
slavery, the sex trafficking. It's just beyond comprehension,
Destroying our habitat too,
destroying
like,
our
God,
habitat.
the animals, what they do? Like,
Exactly.
Take away all this stuff,
Exactly.
these
And,
restrictions.
another thing, Emmett, I know, like, because 'cause I've talked about before, like, well, first of all, mass incarceration is mass voter suppression,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah, it is.
And, like, right? And so, like, and then it's disproportionately, of course, men and
Mhm.
men of color disproportionately. So, right, like, and often, people coming out of prison still are disenfranchised. I know that not everybody gets their vote back. It depends
Mhm.
on the state, I think. It may be hard to do. But when I think about people in prison, I mean, I could be wrong. I know in prison you have to survive, but they're regular people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
A
And
lot of
like,
times there are just regular people that mess up their circumstances or whatever,
right,
and,
right.
there's some really bad people,
Sure.
uh, I get it. Like, there's some guys that, I wouldn't want them out walking the street. They're really some of them are really bad, but, that's different than the average person that messed up.
Yeah.
And, you
Yes.
believe the amount of people in prison just for drunk driving or, like,
Wow.
hitting someone and then didn't realize they did, and they're in prison for 10, 15 years, especially if someone was hurt. So it's, you know should
Drugs, the war on
they go into
drugs.
this camp where this guy just ate his whole family? No, I don't think that. Like, come on. Or this
Well,
rape.
and like, the war on drugs. Right, this sort of the imprisonment of, crimes that are, not violent, potentially, and here we have people running the globe who are destroying, killing, murdering, pedophiles, sex trafficking, drug dealers, like, so, like, I can't really, like, that's what a perspective I have. There may be terrible people in prison, but there's terrible people, the worst of the
Right
worst,
out
running the
here,
globe.
and they wear suits.
Hey, they wear
They wear
suits.
suits, and they're way more dangerous than probably 90%, probably higher than that. They are the top 1% of danger,
That's
and
right.
and,
That's right, and they're out and about, not only that, but making decisions, running countries, right? Running corporations, buying prisons or setting up prisons, right?
about making your shareholder happy, these days.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I do
Pre
have
now we now Oh, go ahead, yeah.
no, I was gonna say this person asked, like, what I was
Yeah,
in prison for, and I don't wanna, like, ever, shy away from that. I was in prison.
good.
I was locked up for, armed home invasion robbery, where Maxwell committing offense during with possession of a firearm during the course of a felony. Now, the judge didn't wanna sentence me to 10 years. His hands were tied because it was, a mandatory sentence. There were mitigating circumstances. Now, what really happened is this person robbed money from this old woman. I used to do Xanax and I was drinking. And when I found out this guy robbed this old lady, I was like, "Hey, all right, let's go, let's go. I'll go right now. It's nothing." And we went down there, and this guy was a straight drug dealer. This is back in the day when you know the pill epidemic was going on, like
Okay.
Roxy sets and, the mass like, these drug companies pushing Roxy sets and Oxys and all these things
Sure.
so everybody and everyone was coming to Florida to get them. So it was, like, big, and, yeah, so, yeah.
I'm so glad you would share that. I respect it so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanna just say again for people who just joined that
okay.
in case you don't know, this is Emmett Tatter. For
Hey,
people who've
guys.
never met me before, I go as MS Kohut on here. Those are my initials. My
Oh,
name is
gosh.
Michelle.
Awesome too.
Um, and,
Siempre. I
yeah.
love that shirt.
Oh,
Siempre.
thank you. Siempre
Thanks.
antifascista. It's
Okay.
Italian
What's
because
up?
this year when I was feeling so low, I decided I
Mhm.
was going to wear my beliefs in public, make sure people know that I'm a safe person.
Mhm.
I made a hat. I'm so proud of it. One
What?
other
No way.
person, it says, "Make Antifa great again."
I was about to say, do
Um,
share.
Oh, yeah, and, one of the other Substackers actually made it too, because I gave him, like, the logo and whatnot. But, I go to the grocery store and, people will or just out in my neighborhood, and people will say, "I like your shirt," and then I know it's a safe person.
Yeah.
You know, so I do recommend for people, like, where you're if you're in a safe place, just like as a therapist, a big, important factor was always having the symbols of gay pride, and this is a safe place. In my office, when I used to work in a
Yeah.
hospital and a school, I would have a sign up, "You're safe here," and this and that, and I kinda see T-shirts and other things like that so that
Mhm.
people know I'm a safe person.
Good. I'm glad. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah. God, it's just
Emmett, do you wanna read something?
shoot. I'll read something. Let me just bust out my the laptop real quick. So,
Cool, and I'll see if anyone else commented real quick.
um,
Oh, always worried, I saw your name. I loved it, always worried.
you
Oh,
know,
Chris is telling me I'm Antifa because I'm anti-fascist. That's right.
that's right.
And he told you, "Thank you for sharing, Emmett."
Yeah, and also this person that whose house was they charged me with armed home invasion, but it wasn't like I just kicked in the front door. This guy was in there and I knew he was in there, so I went in through a window and you know, it was the father and a son, and this guy was like shooting up when we came into the room. I did kick that door in, so I am guilty. I wasn't just like a choir boy, but I did kick that door in and he was
You're
shooting
taking
up.
accountability.
Yeah, he was shooting up and I kicked this door and my friend had grabbed this knife from his kitchen or whatever and like put it on him kind of, but we weren't there to hurt him. We were just like, dude, you took from the wrong person and where's the money you took? And he pointed at this dresser. It was like 1,000 shy of the 10,000 it was supposed to be, and we took it. And when we were leaving, this guy went to pull a gun on us, and I ended up taking that from him. And when I left the house with his gun, that's why I got hit with armed home invasion robbery because you
Wow.
can't leave the house, like you can't leave. Someone, you know, lucky I didn't get shot, acting like a dummy on Xanax, just thinking like, I'll go get it. The young, stupid kid is getting blown away by this dude, like a full-time straight up pill, selling guy. And,
Wow.
but anyway, sorry. I don't know
Yeah,
how I got back on that topic, but,
yeah.
oof.
What are you reading from, just so we know?
I
An
think,
article, your book? What do you
I think I'll read something from my book. Uh, Yeah, I'll do that. I'll it's safe. Should I read the first chapter of Count Time Memoir? I mean, I
Sure.
have it published on my Substack. I gave like a little sneak peek, but it might hit harder if I read it. I don't know.
Fuck yes.
Okay. All right. Everyone bear with me. Um, so this chapter is called Bluebird, and in prison, you know, it was really strange to me when I first got there and arrived because I had no idea what a bluebird was. Everyone was always talking about the bluebird, and I'm like, "Oh, what the hell?" And my mentality back then was I don't ask people for anything. Like, you know what I mean? If they want to tell me, they can tell me, but I'm not the one to just like be up someone's, behind. And so when I finally get to prison, the officers are like, "You're getting on a bluebird," and this thing is like a white bus. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I guess the company was called Bluebird back in the
I
day,
see.
so alright, so this is the first chapter of Count Time. Thank you for offering me to just go ahead and do this. This is awesome,
Absolutely.
and, this is fear. Fear is only as deep as the mind allows. It's a Japanese proverb. That's how we kinda started off. So Bluebird, chapter 1, November 15th, 2010. Let me bring this up larger so I can see better. Okay. Bringing it. Okay. Fear. Okay. November 15th, 2010, 2,836 days until my release. And I was actually in the county for 11 months. So minus that.
Okay.
That's in the like, this is I'm reading something not from my book. This is the unedited version.
Great.
Okay, so the police have come to awaken me. It's 3:30 in the morning, and of course, I didn't sleep. How on earth could I? Adrenaline has been racing through my body for hours now. I've been dreading this moment. Now it's here. I have no choice. It's time to cuff up. I turn around in my cell, putting my hands together behind my back, sticking my hands up to the hole in the cell, which allows the officers access to safely put handcuffs on my wrists. With the touch of the cold steel on my skin, I'm immediately zapped awake as if by an electric charge. This is fucking real. This is happening, and it's happening right now. I'm going to prison. Fuck it. Let's ride. This fuck it attitude is what's gotten me into this mess, but it's something I still hold on to as a tool to help me accept what I don't want to accept. After months of waiting in different county jails, different cells, transfers, and confinements, the moment has come. And yes, like all those other times, here I am mouthing fuck it to myself. So fuck it. The cell opens up and I'm taken to the front of the jail to await the loading van that'll shuttle me to the prison. I'm going to Orlando, Florida's reception center. It's a giant facility used to house transferred inmates throughout the state, to process new inmates, and to house permanent inmates who help the facility operate. The lifeblood, the slaves. When the van's doors open, my feet and wrists have been shackled in the front with the chain that drops down to my feet that meets ankle shackles. It's tough to take a large step forward or to step up. An officer helps load me into the back of a van with 3 other inmates. I notice the hard faces that have that inner lining of nervousness, or what I see as fear. They don't scare me, but not knowing what's going to happen does. When the doors close and I'm seated facing another shackled man, I sit there, blank face. The drive will take a couple hours. I'm too busy mentally preparing myself for what lies ahead to give a damn about anything else. There it is again, that damn fear. I can't shake it. Why the hell is my leg bouncing? I remember a girlfriend who would always stop my shaking leg during a movie with her hand or a stare. You're doing it again, she'd say. I allow a small smile and that river of fear stops for just a moment. That river is replaced by another, a familiar pressure telling me of my need to use the restroom soon. Yeah, that river. That's the one I'm feeling as we pull up to this huge facility that I'm totally not prepared to see. The one with these ominous orange lights that cast an eerie Halloween feel to everything. Those huge fences with razor wire that let you know you're fucked. Nobody's getting out of here. Anyone who tells you they're not scared when they first come to prison is lying. As the van pulls up, I'm nervous and thinking entirely too much, with a million questions flashing through my mind. What's this going to be like? Is somebody going to try and rape me? Will I survive? What all the county jail experts, my fellow inmates, failed to mention was that when you arrive at the prison, there are also vans from all over the surrounding counties waiting to drop their cargo off as well. This line of vans takes hours to drop everyone off, and my van's far down the line. When the hell am I going to get to use the bathroom? Sweat begins to form around my hairline, which should be impossible because it's freaking freezing outside and inside the sardine can. My bladder has filled to the point where nothing else matters. I need to use the bathroom bad. The situation is becoming dire. With each jolt of the van moving forward, with every push of the brake pedal, it feels like an ancient torture method. My bladder is going to burst. When the van doors open, I'm sweating my ass off. I'm hit with a cold blast of air. The year is the year 2010 is by far one of the coldest in recent memory. I am basically a human popsicle right now. My body's racked with the shivers. Now, a group of us are being directed by yells and shoves toward a fenced-in area where other shivering inmates are huddled together. As I shuffle into the area, every step's a moment I want to die. There's no fucking way on this earth I'm going to start my first day pissing my pants. Fuck no. Not me. I refuse to be that guy. An officer with a voice as loud as a bullhorn screams, "Get naked! Everyone strip the fuck down now!" Mind you, it's freezing and the shackles have been taken off as we're ushered into this cage one by one. This simple task that should be easy isn't. I have to piss so bad each movement sends electric shocks through my entire body. Does the torture stop? It does not. The correction officer yells again, a booming, "You dumb motherfuckers will not be staying here, will not be able to accommodate you. You are going to be put on a bus." What the fuck? I realize I'm not going to be able to enter the prison and use the bathroom. This is the moment when I just know in my heart I'm not going to be able to make it. I barely hear the correction officer CO yo, "Y'all are being shipped to Lake Butler Reception Center, so put your clothes on and hurry the fuck up." One of the permanent inmates is dropping a pair of blue trousers and shirt at each of our feet, along with a pair of white boxers. The cold hasn't gotten any better, and neither has the dread that I'm not going to use the bathroom. When the gates open, officers usher the shaking, scared herd toward the buses. Once our ankles are reshackled, the invasive screaming thought, "I need to pee now," has completely taken over. I'm the first to enter the bus in line. At the front of the bus, there is a huge gridded cage of steel that prevents me from going forward to where the guards sit with their shotguns alongside the driver. Walking forward, I'm cringing with each step. Each one feels more impossible than the last. I allow another inmate behind me to squeeze into the seat by the window. I want the outside. But I'm also in the front row. That means my legs are scrunched up, putting an enormous amount of pressure against my screaming bladder. I won't survive this. Fuck it. I think for the 100th time. The bus fills up quickly and the door in the back shuts. I don't care about anything at this point. Not about being raped, what prison will be like, the officer's life or death. I've accepted my death. A young black kid next to me leans over and says, "Yo, bruh, will you move over and step up? I need to use the bathroom." I stand and he disappears into the mass of people resembling an angry beehive. A minute goes by. I can't stop shivering. Then I see him. I can tell by that face he's peed. When he sits up, I ask him, "Dude, where'd you piss?" He looks at me amused. "Oh, shit. You're a green motherfucker." He points back there when he first stepped onto the bus to the left. You must not have noticed that one of those steel sinks in the cells. It's posted right there in the back. You didn't notice that fucked up smell either, huh? I stare at him in stunned silence. He chuckles again, but I've already turned and begun to maneuver my way through this pack of hyenas. "Excuse me," I keep repeating, and then there it is, the nastiest, the smelliest, most beautiful sight I've ever set eyes on. The holy grail, my toilet. A wannabe NASCAR racer is driving the bus. It's jumping up and down, making me fearful of pulling my dick out in front of everyone and causing me to pee on the men directly in front of the sink. I just know the piss will splash them some. With the Clint Eastwood draw, I pull my dick out, but I'm a shy pisser. I loathe pissing in front of anyone, and I hate people behind me. Here, they're surrounding me. I take deep breaths. My mind's telling me that I'm going to be stabbed on this bus for pissing on the men in front of me, while my bladder continues to plead for release. Fuck it. I inwardly scream, and my piss shy dick begins to dribble and then outright gushes an old faithful geyser. I'm actually pissing. Thank you, God. Yes, I'm elated, weak with joy and relief. The fear, the questions, the anxiety and nerves have now been replaced with a sense of calm. Here I am, going to prison. I find myself mouthing for the millionth time, "Who gives a fuck?" That's the first chapter. So
Oh my god, I hope I can see some hearts coming down. Let me see if I can do it myself. I can. Oh my god. Oh my god.
well, that
I
was
just want you to know, I just wanna tell you a little bit. My emotional reaction was between crying and laughing.
oh.
And this is what I love about your writing.
Mhm,
I have noticed that in every article so far that I've read of yours.
mhm,
There's just these it's incredibly emotionally evocative.
mhm.
And yeah, to think of you life experience and just immediately when you started reading, like I was if I could, if I could really be crying, and sometimes I will on here, I was very like, and then to hear the turnaround about, I mean,
It was
wow.
it was an incredible experience, because in the beginning, I really was, at that time, my mentality was, no one's gonna like, I'll die before I get raped, and I'm do this, and but just because that's your mentality doesn't mean that might not happen to you still. It doesn't matter if 5 people rush in there with razors and cut your face all up, hold you down, and take you down, like and I've seen it happen. So, um, yeah, a lot of these things were going through my head, but then, I'm thankful for the experience of my bladder saved me that time because I was so
Unbelievable.
upset. I was like, and at the same time, I had to have this face of like of steel, like,
Oh
I'm
my
like
god.
I'm going to prison, and but my bladder just took those like thoughts
Wow.
away, and you know,
Wow.
I don't know, maybe, and
What a great
I don't
first
know who's
chapter,
spiritual
Emmett.
on here or whatever, but, like, there's a higher power, and for whatever reason, that higher power and it could be the guardian angels of my friends and people that have died and just gone, just looking over me, and I feel like that happened to me throughout my, prison experience, like, because I can't explain. There were some situations where things would happen, and I just knew, like, I'm gonna die, and I can't do anything about it. I'm gonna get killed, and, somehow, some way I didn't, and, I'm here, and I'm just
Wow, you sure
very
are.
incredibly thankful for everyone on here, the Substack right now, for everyone that I get to lecture for at these colleges or the, people that show up to hear me speak about addiction, and since I have my mental health break, now I've definitely, moved on to also, like, I speak about mental health awareness too, and I'm just thankful.
That could be
That's all I
another
can say.
live stream we do. We could focus on that because I've wanted to, and we're gonna increasingly need to because we are in here for the long haul.
Mhm.
Right? What's happening now is not going away quickly. It's not going away in 3 years. It's already been going on for, I mean, forever, but, really heated up with people, in the last 10 years, and we have a long way to go, and I really wanna help people take care of themselves.
I
And
see
so
you're doing incredible work, like, I stalked your page in the beginning, like, a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna find out what this person's really talking about because some people talk the talk, but walking the walk's different. I learned that in prison too when I got transferred for, inciting a riot, it was really just because they were killing our friends and everything, and 400 people said they were gonna do it, and then, when it came time, only 25 people stood up, so, you gotta really be careful who's making these like, who just says but, like, I
yeah,
see your passion, and I really respect it. I wanna, like, seriously, I think you make a I don't wanna get in trouble. There's who knows who's watching, but I think I would definitely salute you. So, you know?
and I'll salute you. And, it's interesting you're talking about this riot with originally going to be 400 people and ended up being 25 because I really think this is what we have to understand about human nature
Mhm.
and about fear. And, I
Scary.
hear a lot of people from other countries criticize Americans for not having a general strike yet, not deposing this regime. But the reality is, it's incredibly hard to community organize in these ways because we have um, people who have weapons and will use them on
Yeah,
us.
it's scary.
The fear is real, and I know that's what you had in the correctional institutions,
Yeah.
right? That you could really be killed, you
You
could be hurt
right.
by the people working there,
Yeah.
the authority
You
figures,
never
and
walk
so I
alone.
think, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
And then when they
right,
say that, they mean it. So, like, I understand why these individuals, like, didn't stand up, even though just yesterday we watched them jump on your friend's face 100 times, like 100 times, like you think that would be like, you know what? But, a lot of people, even if they have 15, 20 years or whatever, they want to come home. And you can't take anything away from somebody that just wants to make it out alive. And they just wanna come home and be with their family, even if they become the worst junkie afterwards, like, 'cause prison messes you up sometimes, and, you know, but they do want that initial, like, hug, embrace from, like, a family member that's like, "I made it, and I'm so sorry." And even if you, like, go back on that sorry, like, later, because you can't tell the future, but, you know, I was really disheartened, during that experience because I was really young too. And to see these older guys, the guys like hyping everyone up, like, we're going to stand together. We're going to, they're the ones getting me motivated. Like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, I'm down for that. But
Wow.
when we were getting transferred, there was this one guy, I wish I knew his name, but he was from Ocala. It was this kid, man. He was I'm not really big on gangs or any of that, but he was this blood kid. And I remember he saw us. He was working the chow hall at the time. And this is like the heart of a revolutionary. This is the heart of somebody that is like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to do this too. And he wasn't even in the dorms when we did this. Like, all we did was a peaceful sit protest. We weren't
Wow.
rioting, burning tables and stabbing and all. No,
Like a
we were
sit-in.
protesting
Sit
that they were trying to kill us. They were killing us. So, like, and then this kid sees us and we're all in chains. And, they came in with and zip tied us. Our fingers swelled to be like sausages because they were so tight, and I remember we were marching, we thought we were all going to confinement. I already knew they're gonna ship us, but they turned towards where we're gonna get shipped, and there was this kid watching through the windows at the chow hall, and he was our he slept in the dorms with us. He knew what was going on, and he's like, "I don't give a fuck. Lock me up too. I'm going with them." And the officers are like, "We aren't locking your crazy ass up." He's like, "Lock me the fuck." And he started making a scene and they're like, "Fuck it. You want to go too? You want to go with them? Are you sure what you're asking for? Cause they're going to Swanee and they're going to kill them boys over there." And they just locked him up, took him to us. And when he came, everyone was like, "Wow, this dude did that." But,
Wow.
400, it was, it was hard to be let down like that, especially, you know, it was tough, man. But at the same time, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it because, you know, we're all in hell together and,
Right.
this stuff can't keep continuing. And
Right.
it's just like what? Do they have to kill all of us by then you
Right.
can't do anything about it.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the idea that, we have the numbers, you had the numbers, and when the numbers are big enough, they can't they can't kill everybody or you're more powerful, but that fear, that fear and, the unknown, the uncertainty. I was thinking today about, this German, sort of heroine. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, Sophie Scholl, and her brother were these, revolutionaries at the beginning of, kind of Nazi Germany, and, they were handing out leaflets and they were part of this, revolutionary kind of opposition group, and she was hung, and she never gave up, and I literally was thinking of her today as well as, um, I think his name's Aaron Bushnell. He set himself on fire. Like these people who are like going to do whatever they need to get attention and to die for it.
Mhm.
And I mean, they came to mind today because that's essentially what's needed is sort of like people being willing to die. And
Mhm.
that's a big ask, obviously, but
It's a
like
big
we're
ask.
gonna die if we don't, in a way, right? Like,
You know, I was, when I got locked up for this, inciting a riot charge and sent to Swanee, I remember, they sent a little leaflet through my door asking if I wanted to, like, contest the charges and whatnot. It's like a disciplinary report. They call in female prisons, I think, or like the feds, they call it a shot. Like it's a shot, you get a shot or whatever. But in our system, we call them CCs, like it's a citation. And then like when you get in a lot of trouble, it's like a DR and you go to confinement. But I remember them asking me, and I remember I took this, paper about, "Do I wanna contest the charges?" And I think I said some it was something along the lines of, "How long will it take, the African American to find justice in this country? How long will it take the Irishman? How long will it take this person?" And I just went on in this, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get sprayed tonight." They're gonna come and I didn't give a fuck. I was like, "You know what? Fuck them, man." I didn't even do anything. I just was like, "I don't wanna watch my friends get killed anymore." Like, is that too much of an ask? Like, control your officers. Quit writing the paperwork like we hit them or we did this to make them jump in the air and crush a man's head in front of us. Let's just stop the madness. Come on. So,
Do you have or did you ever have, like, post-traumatic stress disorder?
well, a while back we were talking about, when I was writing the book, and then in 2021 I had my mental break. The officers, you know, I thought I was crazy. I called the police and, like, on myself. I was like, because I just got spun out. I was pumping gas and, I got spun out. I was pumping gas, and this is after I just got crushing news that I wasn't gonna get to go work on these tugboats, and, like, I hadn't slept for days because I was undiagnosed insomnia with also PTSD and generalized anxiety that gets brought on by the insomnia.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes, it does.
yeah. Anyways, long story short, a lot of stuff happened. I did this really cool interview with the Matthew Vernon Wallen, and, it will be out soon, that story, but, he anyways, I go to the police station and, you know, I thought I was going to the hospital because I was called, like, "I need help. Either I'm going crazy or people are really trying to kill me."
Mhm.
And, they took me to the St. Johns County Jail, and, they put me in this room, and I'm being cool, there's a new shift comes on, and the officers before were cool, and then this new shift comes on, and they're younger, like, they're, like, talking shit to each other, and they're telling me I'm a crazy person and all this, and I'm ignoring them. But then they bring these 2 guys in from booking who had, like, gang tattoos all over them, and it triggered me further when I was already in a state of hypervigilance, hyper awareness. I already think people are trying to kill me. Now I think they're gonna do the hit. They have a knife. They let this man use the bathroom earlier. I saw him go in. It's not easy to hide, and officers in prison, they'll set it up. So I'm like, the officers are working with them now, So my head was just going crazy. And
Yeah.
they told me I had to move out and sit by these guys. And I said, I'm not doing it. And they said, yes, you are. And I said, no, sir, I'm not going out there. If you want me to go out there, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make you run it. And that's a prison term. In prison, we call, I'm going to make this officer run it. It's like when you fight the officer, when you just go buck and get sent to confinement, sprayed, whatever.
Wow.
And, so this is really crazy, and I feel so bad. I'm like, "Oh my god, no wonder they thought I was on meth or K2 or something just bugged out," and so they tell me I'm going out there, and they're like, "You're a crazy motherfucker. You ain't gonna do shit." I'm like, "Alright," and just took my shirt off. There was a sink right here. I started throwing water onto the floor. I started pouring water on myself, and this is how crazy I was. I'd even, like, prepped up, and forgive me, Substack people, but I'm gonna be 100% brutally honest with you all. I even shit in the toilet, and I started rubbing it on myself, throwing it, and I was like, "Alright, let's do it." I put my foot up against the wall, and I said, "Alright, let's go." And they're like, "Alright." There's, like, officers at the door, like, "Okay, you wanna do this?" And I'm like,
Oh my god.
my goal was just to get where cameras were. I didn't want 'em to pin me. So anyways, long story short, we go out. I fight officers. they break my face. I had orbital fractures, stitches. They shot me 9 times with tasers. It was freaking rough, and,
Oh
I ended
my
up going to the
god.
hospital for this. They find out I wasn't on any drugs, and then,
Whoa.
yeah, it was a nightmare.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, with the water and the shit, that's like to try to like get them either to not want to touch you or to be like
Well,
if
the
they're hitting
water
you, like then it's hard for them to
yeah, I
resist
was trying to make it
what
like, like, "Don't touch me." It might make them not wanna touch me as much, and
not want
also,
to. Right.
the water is so, like, when they go to grab you, it just, like, slips, and then
That's what I
throwing
thought. Oh good. I'm
yeah,
glad I understood.
and then
Okay.
throwing water on the floor is so when they rush in with
Floor,
their boots,
they'll
it
slip
makes
and
the
fall.
boots slip too, so you can push past them because when they come in, they're trying to, like, pin you in that cell, and your main goal is to get out, so sorry,
One of
I
my
know,
very
I'm
close
sorry,
friends.
how did we get here?
No. Because it's real life and
Yeah,
we're talking and this is you and this is why we wanna know it, and you read part of your book, and, a good very good friend of mine who I got to know when I was in the South Bronx had also been, incarcerated in New York in many different facilities, and
yeah,
some of what you're saying are things that I've kind of heard about. And, the use of shit, and, the fears, putting candy on someone's bed when they first get there to try to, like
they do that with honey buns in Florida.
okay, like, so that, like, you become their bitch or I don't know, different things like that,
That's kinda
I
like
had sort of heard about.
yeah, that's I've never seen the whole honey bun thing, like, the guys where I was at, they aren't asking,
Okay.
they aren't like, "Oh, if you take that honey bun, I'm gonna, but that's the long game some inmates will play because it's all about game, and in prison, it's just to kinda see who you are as a person, it's really them just feeling you out, and if they know that you're a dumbass, you take someone like, come on, who does that? Why would you eat someone's like, I'd be like, "That's not mine." You got
Right, but
it's
because someone would be desperate, that like you
mhm,
said, they're testing, right? Because some
yeah,
people might be really weak or not weak. No, I don't wanna say that because fragile,
fragile
vulnerable,
or just scared,
scared,
scared.
exactly, or
When you're scared,
hungry,
hungry too because
hungry.
starved and, in Florida Florida's messed up, Florida DOC is really is one of it's to me, I've seen Alabama Solution and Lord knows I respect all them dudes in, Alabama, what they're going through, their experiences and everything, but I'm just like, I didn't see anything too different from Florida, watched it, and I'm like, there's only
Well,
20
that's good for me to know because then I can get perspective,
yeah,
right? And,
yeah,
that was very it was disturbing.
it is
It was
disturbing.
disturbing, and, I'm glad that you recommended it again to the audience called The Alabama Solution,
The
and
Alabama
you can
Solution
so
is
that and you can see it in different ways. You guys should try to watch it. It's difficult to watch, but we have to bear witness, and,
mhm,
especially with all of the prisons being built right now, the, concentration camps, the conditions are
in
are
Florida, we
awful,
have,
and
what's it called? Alligator Alca or
oh, yeah,
Alligator
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, like
Right,
and,
right.
it's I mean,
It's money,
let's
and they're
think about
making a lot.
and they're
Emmett,
making
real quick, I wanna say hello to a
okay,
couple more
yeah, do your thing.
people. Randall, Barnett joined, Joe is Joanna, and they're saying, "But I don't care what people call me." Beautifully broken, they punched a woman in her face, saw it with my own eyes, a
Oh,
male
she's awesome.
officer. Beautifully broken is saying, "The girls always say the men get shit done because they stick together." Joe was saying, "My Mexican cousin was a prison artist and used to send pencil sketched handkerchiefs, like pictures of praying hands. How beautiful." My friend purposely did what he called JCAT so he could get thrown in the hole.
Mhm.
See, people are sharing experiences.
Yeah, we call
Dan
that
Brown
bucking Florida.
joined, Noor, Atia, Joe. You've helped me so much by sharing this. Thank you. She's telling you.
Who said that?
Joe, also Joanna, but she doesn't care
Thanks,
what we
Joe.
call her.
Oh, I called her Amanda.
Uh,
Sorry.
Beautifully Broken's telling us I put myself in the hospital for drug-induced psychosis.
Mhm.
And then said,
It's
"Yo,"
amazing. Her
was
story is amazing, beautifully broken. Her
okay,
story
thank you. I will follow. I don't know if I know you yet, Beautifully Broken, and I'm glad I do. And she said, "That's all real shit, no pun intended." I guess
Yeah.
when you were talking about
Oh,
her.
because I
And then
get
she's
it.
saying, "Don't take the chips. Don't take the chips."
Don't
And
take
then
it.
Stefan
Yeah.
joined. And then Beautifully Broken is saying, "Florida's probably the worst."
Florida,
And
man.
Rachel, Cass,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Grand
So Grand Nighthawk, she's saying Grand Nighthawk, it's this film that's on Hulu, and some of those off it I don't even like really mentioning it, like my personal experience, but like that film is real deal, and everyone
Grand
sh
Nighthawk on Hulu,
everyone should watch.
right?
It's real.
And she said
KKK is
it's
alive.
very infuriating if anyone has seen that.
Yeah, she's
Um,
really ch
Beautifully Broken saying, "Aw, thank you for the shout out you gave her." We've had a great crowd here. We've had
yeah,
a great crowd.
thanks. Yeah. Well, I have I've had a lot of fun. I got a little hyped for a second because when I start telling, I kind of a lot of times I keep, prison stories just for my, like, kind of like activism or my criminal justice approach or when I'm doing these readings or lectures or talks because it affects me. And if you haven't noticed, when I start telling them, I get really animated. I really go like, I hold no
You're
bar.
embodied. You're
I
embodied. Yeah.
I just tell the truth and, I don't wanna be if I'm all cool with people judging me. I get it, and I'd love to do question and answers. I love, like, getting people to know me more, like I say, I'm an open book, and when I start telling these stories, you know, what you see is kinda what you get, and what you're asking, you better be prepared for, what you get. I'm
Well,
gonna
Emmett,
tell you
I
the
also
truth,
think
and,
people do wanna know, right? Like, we're humans are curious.
mhm,
And in our society, we are exposed to a lot of media and movies, and so we're somewhat desensitized. Some of us, we can handle the
mhm.
transparency, and people are fascinated by it, to be honest, right? Like,
I want
we're
everyone to
kind
know.
of gawkers, like, we kinda can't look away, and I think, like, people really appreciate hearing the real deal. I
Um,
know they do, I do.
yeah, and that's one reason I just, wanna tell these stories, like, there's incredible people right now, like Ian Manuel, who wrote, My Time Will Come, Shaka Senghor, who wrote, God, he's, oh my god, why can't I remember his book? But yeah, Shaka Senghor, like, these people who have lived these experiences and it's hard to get people to listen, especially because the stigma is you did the crime, you pay the time. What you bitching for? You shouldn't have done the crime. But, and I get that. But there comes a time when who, why aren't we also paying attention to the real criminals? Because it's not just about the crime. That's just what they want you to think. They want you to be furious about it. They want you to be mad about it. Yeah, get up in arms about it. But just to hide the fact that crimes are being done right beneath your nose. I mean, human trafficking, freaking like murder.
Right.
Oh, you shouldn't have gone to prison. You know what, man? Okay. Okay. I hope you never drive drunk. I hope you never get in trouble. And
That's
I
right.
hope you just live the most fabulous life you can live. And more power to you. But the real world, people make mistakes.
That's right.
Everybody.
That's right.
We all have, like I said before, life's hard, and who knows one day when you might have a mental episode or a mental break, and then, God forbid, somebody that doesn't have the proper training comes in and takes you to the jail, you catch
That's right.
charges,
That's
and
right.
now you're in a position that you never foresaw, and
That's right.
I just pray for those individuals that have that mentality because the jokes could be on you, and and,
Yep.
you know, anyways, I can go on and on and on because
Well, let's go on more, like let's do this more. And like I said, we have so many things we can connect on and we can again, this we're going to be doing this for we're going to be doing this for years to come. We're meeting today, but we're going to know each other forever,
Yeah,
and we can
awesome.
collaborate. We can, you know what
Mhm,
I mean? We can really
absolutely.
do stuff together.
Mhm.
And I want to. And you inspire me and you give me hope.
Well, I that's all I want, like, dude, it's so funny, when I was doing a lecture the other day at Flagler, um, these kids they're not kids, they're young adults, these adults who are younger, they the way I looked at them, I give talks all the time. I'm not afraid to let people hear my voice, especially if something I'm passionate about. But when the first lecture I ever did inside the college, it was just these young individuals showing up to school. I mean, that's a huge wow, you showed up to school. Wow. You're doing stuff I wish I did. And I just had so much admiration for people that wanna learn, that want to do something, and then they were in these criminology classes, and I was just like, what are they gonna think of me? This freaking like, I'm a real felon. Like, I'm coming to
Yeah.
talk to you guys." And, man, they were so humble and so nice, and they saw that I was, like, worried about what they perceive me as,
Sure.
and later on, these people, they reached out and they were just so genuine and nice, and they just made me feel so much more comfortable, and then I went back, I did more lectures at Flagler, and I just am so thankful for that experience, and, these young people, they're the ones that are gonna be they're the ones that will hold the future of the voices to come, and they'll blossom and bloom, and I just hope
Absolutely.
my voice can empower somebody and just
It does, it
have
has,
many,
it
many
will.
wishes for this world, and I'm gonna keep using my voice, and I'm just so thankful to be sharing it with you, with everybody else. I'm just very thankful. I always will be thankful.
I feel full, right? And my heart is full, and this is what this kind of work does that you do humanizes. And same with that the Alabama solution. It shows
Such
the
power.
humanity of the people that are enslaved and in our country. And again, relative to these sociopaths that are running and that own our political parties and that own our elections and that own our
Right.
courts, this is real. It is a conspiracy. It is. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a motherfucking conspiracy.
It's
So,
it's
um,
it's
you know,
it's
right.
real.
It's
It's
real.
not even a conspiracy. This shit is really happening.
Yes, that's what I mean, it's real, it's a real but they conspire is what I'm saying,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
These
yeah,
it's
sorry.
they conspire, it's
You're
real,
right.
right? And so, what you're doing humanizes the people that need it the most,
Mhm.
who are stigmatized and rejected by society, I'm so glad we met, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, in person. It's by video, but this is in person, and,
feel that? I feel the
you know
connection. So,
Yeah.
I think before I go, I do wanna give a shout out to
Yes.
definitely to Count Time, to my memoir, but also to the men from that helped inspire the Alabama Solution. The brave souls, Melvin Ray, Robert Earl Council, Ricardo Poole, Raul, and these guys, man, getting that film out to the producers and everybody, man, I 100% salute them because that was,
It was
hey,
so risky, it was so brave.
it's hard to put into words how real that what they did was, like, is. Like, I hope, many blessings come upon them and that they just are always protected because, man, they aren't trying to do anything wrong. They're just trying to stop wrong from being done. So that's that's powerful. So,
I thought it was heroic, I really do, I respect them so much.
yes, me too.
Um, and I want everybody here, if you're not following Emmett, please follow, you will love his work, his articles are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Thank
just wanna say that Maggie Ross joined at the end and that Jo said one more thing, Joanna, she said, "I have the prison handkerchief sketch praying hands framed still 30 years
Aw.
later." Oh. Oh, and Wendy joined at the end too. So you guys, thank you so much, Emmett. Let's do it
Cindy's my
again
mom.
soon. Oh my God, Wendy.
She's the one that inspired me. The very No, but
I'm
also
sorry that
she
you're
got
coming in
great
at the end, Wendy,
my
you
fiance
know?
great for everyone, so my mom, she's just like, "Oh, man, she's the best," and, you
Well,
know,
you're a beautiful person. She did a great job with
yeah,
and yes, you took a lot of accountability for criminal behavior, but
yeah,
have made your life beautiful, full of hope. You're inspiring, and I love you.
thank you. I love everybody that I'm just thankful. When I got that message from you, I was just like I actually was like, "Damn, should I do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah, no, when I read your work, I said, "This is definitely somebody I need to know, I need to talk to, and that other people need to know and hear
I
from."
appreciate it.
So, let's stay in touch,
Thank you, and we
let's
will.
stay in
I'm down
touch.
to talk whenever,
Me too, and I'm here for you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we know each other now. I'm on your te on we're part of the same team, we're allies.
Mhm. I believe
And,
that.
I always tell people, "I'm not going anywhere. Whatever happens, I'm not going anywhere, and I will fight for all of us for the
And
rest
you
of my
are.
life."
That's one thing that drew me to you, like, just looking at like, I'm like, "You know what, man? She goes so hard." So, I appreciate
And you definitely go hard too. And, what's gonna happen to me is
uh,
it's gonna take me, like, 2 hours to relax. Not that
right.
I'm not relaxed, but just because it's so stimulating and wonderful and,
I know I might need to soak in an Epsom bath. Yeah, I need to, like, chill, read a book, read some,
yeah, light a
Nelson Mandela
candle.
stuff or something, so
Yeah.
mhm.
And,
Well,
let's
thank
touch base later after this, and like I said, a lot more people will see this, and I can't wait, and,
yeah.
I can't wait to, read more from you and hear more of your book.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you
much.
for reading chapter 1, it was amazing.
Oh, I'm so
It was
glad you
amazing.
enjoyed it. It
It
brings
was
me so much
amazing.
pleasure to do it, so thank you so much, and I guess I don't wanna sign off. Yeah.
I know. Well, you can
No.
come on right after and continue live because now you've done it. You dove in and, I kind of think maybe you'll be doing this more. I kinda think,
I hope so.
right?
I love it. I
I
just
told you, I said, "Didn't I say you're gonna love it? It's really fun." Didn't I tell you
no,
that?
it was fun, and I just wanna continue to spread light, spread my truth, I wanna hear other people's stories, and hopefully we all blossom into some wonderful, beautiful flowers and the butterflies anyways, I'm enough. I gotta go.
I'm into nature. Okay, well,
Okay.
I wanna thank everybody for joining. We had 43 people here. That's a
Yay.
great turnout, and, I love you all, and we'll see you very soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.